best of six.
Three.
This week. Yeah, we're a little bit short-handed, but as always, we've got Jake, Lerone, and Mitch. And that's it. So, a little light this week. It just circumstances of life. It happens. And so we're going to get right into it. Normally here...
I have to go.
Sorry to see you go, Mitch. It's the Lerone Jake Power Hour, and we are going to talk about news. Normally we would spend some time talking about a couple of news topics this week, but...
Guys, I'm back.
Given our audience and our personalities, we're going to talk about the biggest piece of news of this week, the Smash Direct. Honestly, there wasn't that much else for news anyway, so we're not
Boy,
missing...
am I flaccid.
They're not missing out on a whole bunch of much.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that likes it the most, so you can go first.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that were announced. We have 3 new characters. We have Ken, Incineroar, and in a surprise to everyone, Piranha Plant.
I just want to throw out the salt that Nintendo was throwing. They're like, people say Ken's the original Echo Fighter, but it was totally Luigi.
It was definitely Luigi, who is, by the way, not an Echo Fighter. That was pretty funny. That was a very Nintendo thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like, throw salt for no reason. Salt that, like, they invented? Like, does anyone even call... No one calls Ken an Echo... I don't know. Anyway. So, yeah, those are the new characters announced. Piranha Plant being probably the most interesting of those characters. Incineroar is actually kind of interesting, too. A heavyweight Pokemon, like, who fights with the wrestling style. We don't really have anyone like that in Smash, so... Especially the wrestling style stuff. It's kind of reminds me more of Pokken.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of cool to see something like that.
And then after that, oh boy.
Okay, then they talked about Spirits, which is...
Wait, if we're still on characters, I want to say there are 5 DLC characters coming, of which we know they cannot be Rex, Shadow, Geno, Skull Kid, someone else, I forget, and so that's very disappointing in my opinion. But we'll see what they come up with.
Yeah, I have faith that they'll come up with some good characters.
I mean, the last time they had DLC, we got a Bayonetta.
Hey, and the time before that, we got Cloud.
Yeah.
Cloud.
You're not selling this very well for me. Cloud was the most controversial thing to ever happen to Smash.
Okay, that's just not...
Just because he was broken, this is the...
Yeah.
No one cares about Brawl, Jake.
No, what? I'm not even talking about Brawl. I wasn't even going to say anything about Brawl.
10 years ago, if you were talking about playing as Sonic and fighting Cloud, people would think you're talking about Mugen.
Yeah. And like when both Cloud and Bayonetta were released, everyone was really excited. Honestly, most people still love those characters. It's just a tiny subset of the competitive community who gets salt about those characters.
Yeah.
So like...
I have to work for it.
So like...
I mean, it's fine now, but like...
They're great.
Probably be fine Ultimate.
Yeah, and like that's just a matter of balancing.
Nintendo and DLC and balance.
We'll get to the balance part.
Yeah, the Wii. Yeah, this game is on a console that sells.
I mean, you got me there. So, but I do want to see a Monster Poochie.
Excuse me.
What?
You know, Poochie, the dog from Yoshi.
Yeah, I got you.
Get him be a DLC character, make him overpowered.
What happened to Link?
Alright, now that we actually have 5 slots here, I can say this. That's a waste of a slot. Slots exist now in the DLC world. There's 5 of them. Also, I like how they just completely deconfirmed the Smash ballot. They're like, we're not making that mistake again. We're not doing that again.
Well, they followed it and everyone got all salty.
They didn't follow it. There's no Goku here.
Yeah, there's no Goku.
They said it was Europe's.
They said it was Europe's #1 choice.
I don't believe that.
America's
a subsection of Europe that, you know, they'd take away the votes for Goku and Luffy.
But what if people were like spelling Goku wrong and shit? You know? An esport.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on from characters. The most controversial announcement, I think, is Spirits.
You telling me the brightness setting isn't controversial?
The brightness setting.
Did
Ever-
you
I mean,
see
can you
that
see
help
that?
menu?
You can have a different setting for when it's docked and when it's undocked. Like, why? Come on, Nintendo. What's with all this accessibility?
Yeah, those are good features. I'm glad they spent some time talking about it.
Yeah, that's actually a good feature. It's just kind of funny that it made it into the direct.
I think it was mostly just the brightness in docked versus undocked. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
other games do this. Like it seemed more of a like that kind of thing than like a let's show off this feature thing,
hmm
which Sakurai is definitely known for doing. I mean, he did spend some time talking about how sick the menu was in the E3
Sakurai-
presentation, where he was actually
Sakurai
short
is
on
a
time.
very proud dad.
Yeah, he also
Hey, the menu looks good. They actually it looks usable this time.
yeah, the menu is actually like looks pretty legit. They clearly put a lot of thought and effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And
So, okay.
Yoshi's like front and center. So.
well, let's talk about spirits real quick. There's a lot of
How
spirits
many
in
of
the.
you have played a mobile game?
Okay,
What's up?
so basically, it's a mobile game-esque version of equipment that is instead of it being like an item like a baseball bat or like the other kind of equipment, a shield or whatever. Instead, it's like the spirits of characters from other games, like Chibi Robo or Dr. Willy or whatever.
And there's no more trophy.
Yeah, this is sort of the replacement to trophies, and they have special abilities and stuff that like they add to your character when you equip them. I don't think that's what they actually called it, but where you match with the spirit, you match a spirit with whatever character you want to play, and they
So they're
like
stands. Okay, I gotcha.
yeah, okay. Yeah, they're kind of like that. Some of them
I
like
like it.
have like actually add special abilities to the game. Some of them
I
just do simple stuff like make you stronger, make your grab better, or like
I
like
think
equipment stuff.
I think they're a good way to make the event mode more interesting.
Yeah. And like the spirits mode itself seems interesting enough to me. Like you have to like the idea is that you like you pick spirits to that counter the spirits you're fighting against, and
I mean, according to Sakurai, the idea was to have a whole new way to deconfirm characters.
yeah,
True.
that is definitely what he said.
Rip, Gino. That was pretty close to their wording, so.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I think this mode is interesting. I mean some of the aspects look kind of grindy / phone gamey, and we'll have to see how those
definitely
play
gonna
out.
Have to see. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to
But
wait and see.
I
Because
will
this-
say, since it's a free mode and there's no monetary incentive here, the grind shouldn't be as bad.
Yeah. And
Yeah. 'Cause
Because
Sakurai
it
isn't
would only
known
serve
for
a better purpose for it to go faster, so more people
yeah.
be like, "Oh, the spirits."
He's
mode."
not known for making stuff grindy in any of the games. Like in all the games, even like unlocking stuff, he's just made faster and faster with every iteration.
Oh,
Like Smash
definitely.
4 has the fastest unlocking system of any of the Smash games.
Well, that one you just kill yourself 130 times.
Yeah, see, my reservations come from the gotcha system, which this seems to be based off of. Its core design and philosophy is to create something that is so infuriating that it forces you to spend money.
But that seems like an assumption that we don't know it to be 100%
But since you
true.
can't spend, well, I'm assuming you can't
Yeah,
spend.
since you can't spend money, we'll see, but just my reservations come from the philosophy of the system.
Yeah, but like also
And
like the way he
it's
like you okay because you can like level the spirits up, right? But he
Yeah.
basically said for a lot of the spirits this doesn't matter much. That wasn't very clear to me. Like if a level 99 is actually that much better than like a level 1. Like that was
What's the-
not made clear at all. Like some of them like get extra
Yeah.
abilities when you level up, but he had nothing else to say about the other ones. So like leveling up might be like tiny increments of difference, and like you
Yeah,
might not
it's
even
definitely
care
a
about
way-
leveling up, and I don't know.
Like Sakurai is clearly trying to. Nintendo has been pretty clear. They're not about psychological warfare with children. They're not about that. Not like most other AAA's.
Yeah.
And that is a compliment. But the system at its core, that's what it's designed to do. And if Sakurai can find a good way to do it that doesn't make me feel insulted, then I will be very happy.
But honestly, like I think the concept is like the spirit battles. That seems kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely believe Sakurai when he says, "I wanted a way to have more inclusion of characters."
Yeah,
And
I think it was a way of like, okay, instead of trophies, just something to look at and read a description, we're gonna make them these token spirit things that are a little more interactive and like have like a special touch that's related to their character. That seems neat. I am fine with this. And some of
and
the
if it is bad, pretty sure I can just ignore it. So there you go.
yeah, like he's kept it on a separate menu item for a
Like
reason. He
Smash
doesn't
Tour.
expect this to be part of normal Smash play. So, yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Let's
And now for the real brick
the real brick.
online.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's a few things that are better.
This
They
is
stepped into this century.
I'm gonna call this a side grade. They saw a problem and they decided to fix a different problem. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think okay, I'm trying to put myself in the seat of a casual. And if a casual would think that these changes are good. And I think that they would.
Yes.
Like the goals that Sakurai had in mind clearly when making this was like, set your own rules and we'll try to get as close as we can if you have a preferred rule set. Match you up with people in your area so it's less laggy, people's number one complaint, which that's good.
Yeah. Tell everyone to buy an Ethernet port because they couldn't be bothered to put one in the console.
And don't make your quote-unquote for glory mode one specific controversial rule set. And so I think he made some good decisions here. Now,
Still using Global Smash rank.
yes, that's what I want to talk about. Global Smash Power is not a good mechanic.
Okay, to be honest, I did not think win-loss would ever make this match.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Sakurai is just, I'm not gonna say anti-competitive, but he has the perception that if it becomes competitive, some people aren't really having fun. They're just doing it to win. Like they might not even enjoy the game.
Well, I
And
think
he
it's
doesn't
more
like
of a-
that.
I think it's more of like he doesn't want like to
And he
push
doesn't want the
people
kids to look at their 15% win rate.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of that, and just like if you make a game like really oppressively competitive, people like normal people who just want to play the game for fun, like won't have fun playing it. Like you look at games like League of Legends. If you want to play that game like just
Ugh.
purely for fun, it's pretty hard. Like the community is just so oppressive, and the online thing, like if you're not trying to play like a competitive level, you'll just get like dunked on for no good reason. So I can kind of see where he's coming from.
That's what ranked and unranked is for.
Yeah, I kind of agree. But I don't know.
If you don't have fun only playing competitively, you can not play ranked. This isn't for League though. Like League is just canceled no matter what.
Yeah, and like, I mean, Smash. He doesn't see Smash as primarily a competitive game, and the competitive smashing is a small percentage of the audience who plays Smash Bros.
Yep.
A very small
That
percentage.
fighting game in the last Smash 4 Direct.
Say that again.
I think it was Bayonetta when he called it a fighting game.
Oh.
Yeah, he did call it a fighting game, but like, it has mass appeal that most fighting games don't.
Yes.
Like by a long shot. I mean, Brawl is the best-selling fighting game of all time. Which, I mean, it was on the
Man,
Wii.
that's
So
a lot of people.
it's on the Wii, so that helps. But like, none of the other fighting games that have been released come close. Like, no Street Fighter has sold anywhere near that. I think Street Fighter's lifetime barely beats it. So, and like that's like the most popular non-Smash fighting game. So the competitive community for Street Fighter is bigger than the competitive community for Smash Bros.
Certainly.
So,
Oh, and lastly, they need to elaborate on Elite Battles.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm definitely interested in that. Oh, okay.
Also
The
weird
last
you have
thing
to
about
unlock
Global Smash Power is Global Smash Power separate online, like separate by online matches? Because like if Global Smash Power has nothing to do with single player and
I don't
local
know how it
stuff,
worked in Smash 4.
in Smash 4 it was just like straight up. You had one Global Smash Power that was for the whole darn game. But now
You
it's
go up
like by
every time you play.
character, and so it might be different. It might be separate from online, separate online versus offline stuff. Because like it would suck if like, oh, the guy who grinds, spirits or whatever, he has a crazy high global smash power, and then you get matched against him, and it's just a wash, like that kind of thing.
Like he's really good at beating the comms, but like, oh god, I have to
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. But I mean, at the same time, I'm sure single player stuff will be at least somewhat considered. But I would hope that the weighting is in favor of the online. Because like, okay, somebody who's hasn't touched online yet, but has been playing, the game for hundreds of hours. I don't know.
see.
Or maybe
it's-
it just shouldn't, and you have to work your way up.
See, I think it's kind of weird you have to unlock the elite mode because normally unlocking a ranked mode is for team-based games, right? So you can't just get some day one guy to come in and just tank your team, right? So you make them play at least a little bit of casual so you have some assurance that they understand how the game works. But for one-on-one, that's unnecessary.
Well, they're supposedly watching the battle or watching statistics on the battle.
That
So
is
they
also
wanna use the
dangerous
good people.
because
The good people
Yeah,
well,
that
on
makes me
mode.
nervous.
watch the battle.
online play is different than local. Some stuff that works online will never work in local.
And if it's based on Global Smash Power or whatever it's called, not everyone I would say is worth looking at.
We still
For
don't know how it
balancing.
works.
Yeah.
So
But I don't know how the actual battles work. Is it just going to be like the same thing where you set your settings and hope you get something that matches?
well,
Yeah. Maybe it'll
so
be
let's just
easier
put
than
it
we
this way.
think.
If it's
It should be easier in elite battles because I'm sure more
I can't
people
see
will
all
be
good.
using competitive settings.
Probably. It depends on how easy it is to get into elite battles. Kind of like what Mitch was saying. Maybe it's really dead easy, and everyone will be in there, or
I mean,
it
he said
requires
if you can
single
make-
player crap.
He said if you get in elite battles, then you're good. Period.
Yeah, he did say that. So
basically, if it's like Smash 4, it's a total failure. If it's like new and improved, it could be great.
yeah, there were definitely some good decisions made, but there were some questionable and scary decisions made. So
Also,
Yep.
I'm not sure I understood this. Are there only 5 items allowed online, and you get to pick them, or is that like? I wasn't really sure what I was looking at there at that bottom bar.
yeah, it looked like
Like,
there was a
you
couple
get
of
to-
item sets available. It kind of just looked like Smash Ball thing, all or
Yeah,
none.
what was that like?
There was a
Was
none
that bar
option.
Was that bar customizable, or
I
is that like the 5 most common?
we
that
have
people-
no idea.
Yep.
I think that'd be something.
They confirmed replays. Nice.
Oh, cool.
And you can create shareable videos from them. And they didn't give. I'm assuming that they're finally unlimited.
Is it going to be the same way where it just records the inputs?
Yeah, when they showed it for that brief second, like the replay playback, you could like move the camera and stuff during it and stuff. So looks like it's just replaying inputs.
Interesting. I mean,
So if you want to save your replay, you better record it
Oh
on something
yeah,
else before a patch.
that's
As
the
long
question.
as-
That's
as
actually the
long as
question.
they-
Will they?
as long as they give you a way to do that this time, that's not insane. So I remember I had my SD card in there or something, and they just like wouldn't let me save to it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, now you can like more easily upload it to YouTube, like in the background and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
that'll probably
Right,
help.
right.
Just upload
like
them,
you
upload them
couldn't-
before a patch, and
Like you couldn't upload them to YouTube, right? You had to upload them to Miiverse or something.
no, you could upload them to YouTube, but it was like a kind of painful process.
Yeah.
But that was just because of the Wii U's limitations that
Right.
the Switch doesn't really have.
Yeah.
And on the 3DS, you were screwed. You had like nothing.
So,
And
what
I think that was really.
I know at least 2 more things in the direct I want to talk about.
What do you got?
First off, Yoshi's Final Smash is finally revealed, and it's hype.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
It's the melee
big.
opening where you have a stampede of Yoshis.
Long live the king.
That's pretty good.
It's gonna be great. So many memes. They're already just flooding.
Oh yeah, I was sorry. We have to there's gonna be a Smash Bros. App.
Oh, I thought that was just the Nintendo Online.
No. Both.
Smash Watch, right?
There's Nintendo Switch Online app for voice chat in your Smash matches, but then there's a Smash app which is gonna be like where you can post videos and screenshots and stuff.
Oh,
It's the social
I blocked
network
that
for
out.
Smash players.
It's just gonna be Miiverse Part 2. It's gonna be a dump.
It's Miiverse for Smash only.
Can they make a
That's
little
what
stage for that?
yeah, I want a stage for it. That's the only reason I care.
So I can see some stupid drawings?
Yeah, that's
and the
probably not
occasional
gonna.
good one?
Yeah, they probably realized they made a mistake with that one. They couldn't moderate it enough, and then you occasionally get like a penis or something.
An esport, an elongated sport.
I don't think that is even
It's like the come on.
Expand the sea.
a phallic symbol.
A popsicle.
Okay, that's worse.
Young Link is a Young Link main.
And what was the second one, Mitch?
Story mode.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez.
Oh right.
Yeah, World of Light.
Probably that was a great cinematic. That was the opening of Brawl, right? They're all standing on the cliff looking over the ocean, and then
Yeah,
there's,
that
like,
was an
noise and
awesome
text.
little shout out. Yeah, apparently what we didn't know about the Brawl opening is when everyone's standing on a cliff, they get killed right after.
Also, there were a lot
All
more
of them.
characters there than you couldn't see.
Yeah, there's also a lot more
Yeah.
characters.
So
Yeah.
we get the E3 trailer. Sakurai's like, all right, Mario, Mega Man, they're dead. Next trailer, Luigi's dead. Trailer, everyone except Kirby.
Everyone except Kirby. Yeah, Sakurai playing some favoritism with his other creation, Kirby.
Mhm.
So,
I do think it's interesting that your protagonist for the story is not Mario; it's Kirby.
nah, Mario's been overdone.
I mean,
Exactly. But he is
Makes
the poster
sense.
child.
Though Kirby is also a protagonist, I think it would have been better if he had taken a character who normally doesn't get to be a protagonist and made them the protagonist. But
Kirby has the best moment in subspace.
Kirby does have the best moment in subspace. But that's the other thing.
What is
Kirby's had his spotlight in the Smash series. But
What
you know
did
what?
Kirby
Whatever.
do?
It's fine.
He's like he blasts the ship thing in half.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Halberd.
Was that Man Knight ship? Yeah, Halberd.
All right, then who would you have given the protag spot to?
Oh gosh, there's 77 characters.
They wouldn't give it to like 80%.
Yeah, like Piranha Plant.
Probably more like 95%. If they give it to Mario, Kirby, maybe Mega Man. Not even Mega Man.
No, not Mega. Yeah, I say make it a secondary character who isn't a protagonist in their main game.
I'd
Like-
say either A, let you pick.
Okay, that's
Then they'd have to like streamline the story as.
yeah. No, I'd rather than pick a protagonist and make a story out of it. But
Or number 2, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think
who's in this game?
Luigi maybe, or
Snake's back. They could use Snake.
yeah, I'd say like Luigi, Snake,
Cloud,
Yoshi, Cloud.
Yoshi.
They're gonna be more
Mark.
talking.
We're gonna be talking. Give it to Mark. He has a fresh new voice actor he needs to show off.
Yeah, Marth's voice is kind of whack, but
He was like Yuri was pretty dry. Like did not care. Sounded like he didn't give a shit.
Pitt was
He's like, I'm in Spider-Man now. I don't need this.
Pitt's
Oh,
voice.
Suzaku?
Pitt's new voice is still awful.
Yeah.
You'll give it to Dark Bit.
I don't know who I would give it to. I would need to look at the character list or something.
Yeah. Oh, Villager. That's it. Villager's the one. He's the one. Because you can customize him, right?
What?
Oh,
wait, of course, me.
Yeah, no, not a me.
Of course.
since we're just memeing now and talk about the treehouse, Isabel looked kind of decent.
Oh, that's good. Is that your main?
I will say. I'm more interested in Isabel now after that trash trailer.
Still want to know if Smash meters are going to be competitive.
Okay, you know that.
No,
You know
okay.
that they're not.
From what I've seen, Dark Pit used his and it was hot garbage. Simon used his and it was okay.
Piranha Plants looks
Somebody
actually
used
like
theirs, killed someone at like 37. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
Can't remember who.
yeah, Marth.
No, that was in the. I'm talking about in the treehouse.
Oh, like in the newer build.
Oh, and Diddy's is dumb. You just hit B, he goes around. It's like supersonic almost, and then he picks someone and like dives into them and they blow up. So you don't even have to aim it. You just hit B, and you get to hit someone. So it's not even like some are better than others, and just you don't even have to aim them.
Yeah, I think for the most part, the ones that you don't have to aim aren't like as powerful. Like in the closer range, like Marth's is like close range relatively for a final smash, but like
Also,
really
according to some people, it looks like you can passively get some meter. So trash.
Yo, if you passively get meter, then it's hopeless.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like it's really fast, but it happens.
If you can
Then
camp,
the more jumps you have, the better you are.
It just doesn't have the application it does in fighting. It's just press B and get a kill.
Yeah,
And to some people, it's press B and do like 20 damage, and that's it.
yeah,
I mean, how they should do it is they should all be blockable unless it's a grab. And if it's a grab, then you.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Most of them aren't.
Then you
Most of
shouldn't
them
be
aren't blockable. So
Yeah. It should be a huge risk, huge reward kind of thing, or maybe not huge reward. Like, I don't know.
So he didn't lie when he said he nerfed them for one, but some of them are still dumb.
Yeah.
And if Diddy's a good character, meter will just make him busted.
yeah, meter will be fun for like side events and casual stuff.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they could make like the teams or something have it. I don't know. Or that like where they rotate the characters.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that mode exists. That mode's gonna
Like,
be sick.
Like you have the character with the best final smash at the end. So you save it for that character, and then he gets your comeback. Then you have to deal with
I
the
thought
other
meter.
person.
I thought meter resets when you die.
No,
It doesn't.
it does not. If you're full, you lose a little bit. Other than that, you don't lose it.
Okay,
Oh.
interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's how it worked in the trios.
But I guess that makes sense because they don't want an invincible person running around.
Also, they played 8-player Smash with meter, and it was incredibly.
It was. That sounds just fun.
It got to the point where there were like 4 people glowing at once, and it was dumb.
Yo, can you do like 8-player Spirit Smash with Smash Ball? Like, can you
I
just
have
like
no
go all
idea.
out and just
I don't see why not. It's Smash Ultimate.
push the game to the absolute limit?
16 ice climbers.
This game really does have an insane amount of content in it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of games,
But also the single player. It's this really beautiful map. You walk across. It looks like the banner. Like you walk across that, and it looks like there's a fog of war kind of thing. You go and you do events and you clear it out. And it looks like some boss fights, some random challenges using the stickers. The spirits.
oh yeah. That's the Spirit.
It
battles
definitely
thing.
looked like you had a skill tree too.
You did. It looked
Yeah.
more like just a grid sphere where you just get buffs.
Right, and all the other playable characters get captured. And I can't tell, they're either turning them evil and you have to knock it out of them, or they're using them to mass produce clones. Well, they were kind of unclear about that.
Yeah, they were. I don't think they were using.
I'm
I don't
more
think they were
inclined
clones.
to believe the first one,
Yeah, same.
that they're
It's
evil.
like, because they had Mario, right? And they dripped some gold stuff on him, and then a dark Mario appeared under him, but the normal Mario was still on top.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
they only ever showed one Mario, right? Other than that point.
Maybe they can only make one clone at a time or some shit. I don't know.
See, the clones I think would work, because if that mean you could, fight Mario multiple times throughout the story. It's not just all-star mode, right?
Yeah, or multiple stocks,
I don't know.
or multiple at once.
Right.
That'd be crazy. I don't know. I think some of the there's more single player
good.
content than I expected.
It looks good. Do we know about classic mode? Is it like Smash Wars, where it's just awful?
I think
Classic?
it's been mid.
I don't even know if there is.
Huh.
It might be replaced with Spirits and World of Light. It might just.
What
be
does gold do in this game?
gold? You can
Do
buy.
you buy music with gold?
You can buy music,
stickers,
and spirit music, me stuff, and spirit stuff. I think is all they've talked
right?
about.
Because you can buy me costumes now, right? Could you do that in 4? I never tried.
Buy me. You just had to like
You
get
get the
lucky.
orange at the shop.
Yeah, you just like RNG stuff to get them.
Okay.
You get them from like master orders and stuff.
Right.
So. And I'm not that big in the single player, but I'm only interested because I'll be playing day 1, so the game won't be ruined for me.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pick it up day 1 too. My only reservation for buying day 1 was the story mode.
Well, now you have something to do.
Yep.
'cause
Yeah, I'm
probably gonna
super looking forward to this.
I'm not gonna have anyone at my house at 4 in the morning. Train with.
Just come to my
Comes out-
place.
This comes out on a Friday.
That's
right?
Saturday.
Come to my place on
Yeah, I'm talking about 4 a.m. Friday.
That's fine. I'll be up. We're getting it at midnight.
Well, I'll be at work.
All right. So I think that's all we got to say about the Smash Direct for now.
Correct.
So I think it's time to dive in to our main topic of the week. Book club, but for games. Pending title.
So far, we're following the trend of book club.
Yeah. So, we're gonna... The game we've played over this past month... Well, I guess I'll introduce the segment for those who are new. Every month, everyone in the podcast plays through a game, and then we talk about it. Everyone. Every last person. So, this month we played...
Especially the ones who are not here.
This month we played The Wolf Among Us.
So,
which is
a
a quick
JoJo Part 4, I appreciated this.
Which, as a quick introduction to those who don't know, Wolf Among Us is a Telltale game, by many considered to be the best Telltale game.
It is.
I went into this thinking it was like their own original project, only to find out it's based
Yeah,
on some comic book that no one has heard of.
Yes, it's
Yep.
based
Kind
on
of
a comic.
disappointed at that,
Yeah, it's
but
based on
that's fine.
but it was well done, and also, so the theme around the whole thing is that you're in a neighborhood in New York called Fabletown, where a lot of fables live. So, like people like the big bad wolf, who like blows the pigs' houses down. That's you. And
So,
you
that's
have
scary.
like there's like Snow White, and there's like all these people, but they're not in the fables anymore. They're now just like living in this neighborhood in New York, kind of secretly, like among the human. Like the humans don't know so much, aren't really supposed to know much about the fables. You don't really see many of the humans, or as they call them, Mundies, in the show. You don't interact with them too much. There's a couple of them here and there, but
Was the doctor a Monday?
no,
Okay.
no. Doctor wasn't a
It was just
Mundy.
it was just the cop then.
Just the cop.
Yeah. Interrogation. Put them to sleep.
Very beginning of chapter 2.
Interrogation. What?
Crane saved.
What? I have no idea who you're talking about.
Damn.
Right, remember at the end of chapter 1, you see the head. And
Yeah.
then it ends, right? But you had to walk across a police line to get there, and a bunch of cops are running at you to go.
Oh, I was talking about when you get
Oh.
interrogated.
Yeah, and then in the beginning of chapter 2, you wake up and you're
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you now. Yeah. Also, there were just some random Mondays here and there.
Yeah.
Cab driver, and
Right.
some of the girls too, who are like kind of important to the story.
Really?
Huh?
Yeah, I thought so. Wasn't like the one girl who you like talked to at like the end? Wasn't she supposed to be Monday?
Narissa
Isn't
was
it the-
not.
the
She
Little
literally
Mermaid?
says she's Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah. Not Narissa.
There was Faith, who they tell you her backstory, and then there was the troll.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
Okay.
there's Vivian.
Yeah. Okay.
With
You're
the
right.
thing on her neck. And
Yeah.
Narissa.
All right. Yeah. I the only one I didn't know about was that other girl, Faith. I didn't
You
remember.
read about her.
I don't remember.
And the entire. Okay.
Okay. Here's the thing. So I played this whole game while I was like really fucking sick.
Really esport and sick.
I don't care. I'm still sick.
You host this.
For
you
those
should
who can't
care.
tell.
Well, as you'll do when he has nowhere else left to guest at when they take us down.
I think you're the only one who holds up the esport
We're just
rule.
one bad word away at any given moment. Might not be this one. Might be the next one. But Twitch is coming.
Anywho, all right. So as an introduction, I think we
Just make sure it's not me. I mean.
So before we talk,
Anyway.
so okay, let's give a quick synopsis of what you do in this game. Major spoilers ahead.
That goes for all of these book club for games. We assume you've played the game and are just here to hear our thoughts about it.
Yeah, either played it or have no intention of ever playing it. Okay,
we do not give reviews. We give musings.
Yeah, a quick okay, if you haven't played this game, would you guys say it's worth playing?
I guess.
Depends what you're looking for. If you want a story-driven game, yes. I don't think you can get. I guess it's one of the best, probably. If you're looking for something that's going to make you push a lot of buttons and get your adrenaline going, then look somewhere else.
Yeah, that should be very clear. This is a story-driven game where most of the input is dialogue trees and making some decisions that have impact on story / future cutscenes / dialogue. Like nothing crazy mind-blowing, like you'll have a completely different experience from another person based on the paths, but some of the decisions that you make are actually kind of a big deal and interesting. So but more on that later.
Two branching paths that intersect later. They handle it well, I think.
Yeah, but like some stuff, like we were talking a little bit before the podcast, and there was some stuff that happened that was just a very different way of like we all had a unique experience in the story.
That's
like
what I expected.
Like we come to the same kind of conclusions, but we actually had different, like whole different dialogue and interaction, and like different people even, and different environments based on decisions made. So that's pretty cool. It's probably one of the better games to do it anyway, because I mean, it's within reason, right? It's really expensive to do this because you have to make a bunch of content that most people won't see, or like each person will see like 1/3 of the content.
We can't all be The Witcher. And as we know now, it did not pay off.
Not even close.
So, yeah. If any of that sounds interesting to you, I'd say pick up the game. It's pretty cheap. I think we got it for $15, but it goes on sale for less sometimes. So, keep an eye out on it for it, and yeah, I'd recommend.
I mean, I got in a Humble Bundle like a year ago.
Really? Oh wow.
There was a Telltale. I have Tales of the Borderlands, Game of Thrones, this Walking Dead Season 1. I think that's it.
Nice. Okay, so a quick little. Well, should we even do a synopsis of the story? It's kind of like if you haven't played the game.
I think you should do a synopsis, and then once we reach those branching paths, we can all discuss what happened with our choices.
Okay, this is going to be a really broad synopsis because this is the story of this game is like that's the whole game. So like this game's story is just as long as like any RPG story or whatever. There's just like nothing in between. It's all story. So there's not that much in between.
Like, you have one cutscene, and instead of going and grinding for an hour, you just get to the next cutscene.
Yeah, there's some point and click sections in between, but
Which are really just cutscenes.
It is really just like cutscene for the whole game. So the game starts with you. You are Big B Wolf, which play on words, Big Bad Wolf, Big B Wolf.
I love it. Yeah. That is so great.
It is great. There's a lot of really great little references and jokes throughout to the fables. And so you're Big B Wolf. You are the sheriff of Fabletown. And you're kind of the tropey like lone wolf sheriff type, which appropriate character setting for somebody who's like literally a wolf. Uh, you learn pretty much right away that people around you are fables. You're talking to a landlord in the area who's a frog, and the only reason I'm going into depth about this part is because there's an important thing called glamours, which plays a big role in the game, where glamours are these things that let you look like a Mundi, a human, when you're a fable, so that way everyone can just look normal and blend in. All right, now we're going to get into really broad territory.
They were really kind of unclear with how glamours worked. Is that like a one-time use, and it lasts a certain amount of time?
It looks like it lasts until you take it off. Like that was my impression.
Yeah.
The wolf transforms a few times and transforms back. Is that just something?
No, that's just something
glamour?
No, like I don't think you're in glamour at all. I think you just have the ability to transform, because they kind of make reference that you're like part werewolf, like not a full-on wolf. So like you actually have the ability to properly transform.
That's probably why he makes a good sheriff.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people, they made it clear that they didn't need glamours. So
other people do that too.
Yeah, I don't know. So, God, it's gonna be really hard to make this broad. But so I'm gonna do that by just leaving out tons of details. So you are the sheriff, and you're doing normal kind of sheriffy stuff, and then at some point a severed head shows up on your doorstep, and you recognize it as somebody who you met in a previous sheriffy event. I know I skipped an entire sequence, but
You really did hardly leaving out a lot. But that's fine.
Yep.
Okay, well, there's no big branching path. There's no branching paths at that point. That's why I'm skipping it.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, you had a fight and stuff. The game introduced you to the controls. Yada yada yada. So, then a severed head shows up at your doorstep.
There was one decision you could make. That was whether or not to give her money or to send her on her way.
I didn't give her money, and it said I was only among 15% or something like that.
Yeah, I did not give her money.
That surprised me.
I
What am I?
also did not give her money.
I was like, hell no.
Aw, esport, no way.
So
I know how this goes.
You're gonna give up on this someday, Mitch. Okay, so yeah, this woman who you helped out, her head shows up on your doorstep, and that's not good. So, well, not exactly your doorstep, but your apartment building, which there's a bunch of stuff in.
Which is apparently where the local government is located.
Yeah, that's
also something not very clear on how this whole government thing works. It's like the whole government run by 3 people.
Yeah, the government's also called the business office, which is okay.
Yeah.
It's it's literally fairy tale, so it's fine. And to be fair, half of the story is about how the government is useless and like isn't meeting the needs of their citizens, which maybe the fact that it's run by like 3 or 4 people.
One of which is spending over half the money on well, yeah.
Yeah. And one of them is like there all the time, but he's like doesn't actually work for the government.
What does he do?
What
does Bluebeard do?
Yeah, what does
I didn't get him at all.
Bluebeard is just like this rich guy who apparently like practically single-handedly funds the government even though he hates them. It's very strange. So anyway, you find the severed head, and oh, that's not good. So you and your pseudo partner Snow White, you call her Snow. She's the secretary of the local government, which the local government is made up of the leader, named Crane. Yeah, Ichabod Crane, who is actually interim mayor or something because the real mayor's gone. They never go into that. And then Snow White being the secretary, and then you being the sheriff, and then as far as we know, and then Buffkin, who is just like the bookkeeper, and he's like literally a buffkin. So,
It's a little monkey gorilla thing.
yeah, a little monkey
troll
thing with wings. Yeah, I think that's literally called a buffkin.
Huh.
So, he's a buffkin, and
He's one of the most important characters in this game. So.
Yeah,
And you treat him like a flying joke. It's very sad.
it is kind of sad. I don't know why buffkin. Anyway, so that's kind of your ragtag team, except Crane. Crane is just kind of the
just kind of there.
kind of the asshole who yells at everyone, kind of thing, and doesn't actually do any real work. Yada yada yada. So, you start investigating, and okay, I'm going to admit I don't remember a lot about chapter 1 here. About how you start this investigation off.
Okay, so you initially had a fight with the Woodsman, and so you think maybe he did it.
Yeah.
So you go to hunt him down, and that's kind of your initial goal. The only lead you got, and that's where you're gonna start.
Mhm.
So I believe that takes you back to the bar.
Yeah.
Or is there something before that?
No, yeah. You go to the bar. You get in. Is that where you get into a bar fight?
No.
Or is that
you
later?
don't go to the bar. First, you try to figure out who this girl was, because you met her before and you never got her name.
Yeah.
So I believe you pull out a storybook, you find out her name's Faith, and you get a choice. You can go after her husband, who looks like he's in pretty bad shape, who you used a magic mirror to find. Or you heard that the Woodsman is at a bar, and you have to pick one of those two.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I was wrong again. It wasn't the bar, it was the Toad. Someone broke into his house, and he called you for help.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That was chapter 1.
Wait.
Yes.
Are you sure that was really?
Yeah, because that was before you met Deedledee and Dum, right?
No. That was definitely after you met Tweedledee Tweedledum. We should probably have a resource open for this.
Yeah, we really should. I'm trying to think. There was definitely a choice to be made between Faith's husband.
I think it was the husband. I think it was the husband
was
and
the choice was
I think
going to Lawrence's house or
Lawrence's house or looking for the Woodsman somewhere. You had some lead on where the Woodsman was.
But you had to get that lead from Dum, didn't you?
Did you?
Because right before you got knocked out, Dum was like, "Oh, I heard he's in the bar."
Honestly,
you chased.
Don't remember that.
Right, because you go to Lawrence's place and you find Dum.
Oh no! Okay, your choices are either go to the Woodman apartment, and that's where you find Dum.
Yeah.
Or you go to the her husband's place.
Okay, so I think you find D or Dum depending on where you went second, because I found them at the husband's place.
I found him at the husband's place.
I found them at the husband's.
Yeah.
Never mind. So I think we all went there second though.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe you had to go to the frog because he called you in a fit of panic. It's like, well, that's clearly the pressing matter.
Yeah, you go there, you look up, you see someone.
Which turned out to be Tweedledee, I believe. Or Dum. Which is when he stole the axe as well.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're getting a little sidetracked. So, point is, you go to her husband, or her husband committed suicide.
Rip the dream.
Yeah. And you find in his closet Tweedledum or Tweedledee. One of the two. One of the Tweedle brothers. They're both in the game. Tweedledee, Tweedledum. They're like they're thugs for hire.
Private investigators.
Yeah, they're awful. So
they keep telling you they're on the same side, but they just won't talk to you, and they keep running away.
Yep.
Something about that makes me not believe you.
Yep.
You chase him, you get him to talk, and then the other one shows up and knocks you out.
Right, and then they tell you where the bar is first because they're idiots. They tell you, Woodsman's at the bar. So then you go to the bar, you meet some people, and you're tasked with another choice because you're about to arrest the Woodsman for interrogation. And then while you're doing this, one of the Tweedles comes in and sees you. He bolts. The Woodsman bolts, and you have to pick which one are you going to hunt down.
Yep.
I believe we all picked Tweedle because we both hate him, and because
and Woodsman just didn't seem like he did it.
After talking to the Woodsman, it was very clear he had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty much.
There you go, chapter 1.
Yep,
first you see there's the thing.
Yeah, the last thing that happens in chapter 1 that's of importance is you find another head on your doorstep that night, and it is the head of your partner / potential love interest, Snow White.
Hmm.
And that's the end of chapter 1, which was a pretty effective ending. Chapter 1. Then I want to talk about a quick little gripe I have with the game.
Okay.
So, we all have the complete version of the game. However, at the end of each
Oh
episode,
my
it shows you, here's a little teaser
Oh,
trailer for the
it's
next
I
episode.
took my headset off for that.
Yeah,
I
I
just
just
walked
muted the
away.
game. Like it's unskippable. Why?
Yes, an unskippable, slightly spoilerish
Slightly.
trailer for.
I understand why it's there. I just want to be able to skip.
Yep. Also, now just so you guys know, I have a reference open. That's a guide for the whole game that kind of
Excellent.
goes like section by section, so can actually remember how this stuff actually went.
All right. So I do want to say something about this chapter. So whenever you have an option, you have a dialogue wheel. You have 4 options, one of which is usually silence. Sometimes you'll just be given such an awful wheel that silence is your best option. Like you'll have 3 things
Yes.
that are all just like insulting the guy for no reason.
I mean,
Yeah, that's happening
you're
plenty
supposed to
of
be kind of an angry character, so.
Yeah. So you pick
But-
silence, and they're still insulted. And like, well, if you're not going to say anything, maybe you should just leave. Okay.
Yep.
Also,
Okay, wait. There's
There
kind
are
of an
many-
important
okay, go on.
thing we skipped in episode 1.
Oh, got another one.
So you can go to so you do go to the bar,
Right.
in search for the Woodsman, the Woodsman. And you can. This is where you get into that bar fight.
Yeah.
With the Woodsman and Gren.
The white thing,
or
the tooth.
oh yeah, Gren. So you have another choice here when fighting Gren.
tearing his arm off.
You can choose to tear his arm off.
I
I
didn't do that.
opted not to because that seemed really out of left field.
I didn't see the.
Yeah, so I tore his arm off, and
You are a monster.
his arm was gone for the rest of the game, and people kept bringing that up.
Yeah. I thought
He,
chapter 5 was a really interesting way to do that. We'll get to that.
It wasn't even just like the whole game, because Gren is a frequent character, and he like held a grudge against me for tearing his arm off.
I mean.
And people every time we were like all in the room together, they would be like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna get angry again and tear my arm off." So that was kind of. I'm glad I did it just for the dialogue for the rest of the game, and the fact that Gren was actually armless for the rest of the game.
Looks like he's been disarmed. I'll see myself out.
So
yeah, I opted not to do that because it was pretty clear that you were supposed to have this dichotomy between being the renegade who gets things done at all costs, or being an actual policeman.
yeah, but the game lets you choose how you want to do that, and I tore the guy's arm off. Oh, I started this game way more violent than I ended this game.
I mean, like, did you see that initial scene with the huntsman? Like, this game is violent.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you put an axe in his head and he didn't die. Like, at what point is this too violent? He just kept getting back up. Like, you knocked his jaw off and just put it back on. Like.
Yeah. Okay. Also, apparently this guy sucks. This is the beginning of episode 2. So.
All right, is that not where we are?
I thought it's in episode 1 in the guide.
What's in episode 1?
Tearing the arm off.
This whole
Bar fight?
sequence. Yeah. It
Yeah,
lists
that's episode 1.
It listed in episode 1.
Yeah, that's right before you make the choice between Tweedle and Woodsman.
No, this is after Faith is dead. That's why you're so fired up and end up getting in this fight.
Yeah, Faith dies at the beginning of chapter 1.
No, at the beginning of chapter 1? What? Oh, she does die at the Yeah, never mind. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Not really. Moving on. I told you I've been sick all week, so this is keeping all this straight has not been the easiest. So, episode 2.
Electric Boogaloo. I'll note that there's this really cool and short or the groovy. Let's go with that opening sequence that is unskippable and really annoying.
Yep.
Just you walking, it's like an anime opening. You can't skip it. Yeah, that's another thing.
Okay, so you go into episode 2, and you start investigating the murder of Snow, which you are particularly mad about.
Mm-hmm. So you have, we all picked Tweedledee or whatever. So you have him in the basement, and you can interrogate.
Yep.
You get a few choices. Do you beat the crap out of him, or you talk him through it?
Yep.
I chose to talk him through it because he was just talking, and I wasn't doing it. He just told me everything.
I offered him the cigar, and he didn't talk and blew it face. So then I hit him the next.
Wow. He blew it in my face and then just kept talking.
So
It's like, this isn't working, even though we're getting all these. I need.
So I just beat him up. Instead of offering him a cigar, I lit the cigar and then burned him with it.
Wow.
So this is kind of an important choice in the game because Snow, in particular, will be mad at you for the rest of the game if you
she's
torture
actually
this
alive.
guy. What?
He's actually alive.
He's actually alive?
Yeah.
You didn't bring that up.
At the end of chapter 1, Snow dies, right?
Oh, yeah. So Snow's not dead.
So she walks in at the end of the interrogation. It's like, what's going on? You're all like, what?
Yeah. So you're all confused.
The ultimate cop out.
So then you're like, wait. So then you go and investigate the body at some point, and you find out that this isn't actually Snow. This is somebody who's glamored up to look like Snow. Because it turns out glamour not only makes you look like human, but if you can make glamours to make you look like particular humans. Black market glamour.
So how does that work? Because he was like hitting that, so like.
Apparently you
Does she feel like a human?
Apparently you put. I'm assuming you do.
I don't know.
Okay.
So it turned out it was actually a troll, and you're like, well, there's only one other troll I know, so they must be related.
Yeah.
That's true.
So back to the bar we go.
Except you don't. Oh, yes, you do. Yeah, you
go back
do.
to the bar, and they tell you, well, she was actually a prostitute. You're like, well, I also know a prostitute. She's dead. 2 prostitutes.
So you go
Let's
to
go to their pimp,
Yep.
who we know from before. They were in money problems with their pimp, and the pimp could have taken her out and killed him. Like, all right, we got a suspect. Cool, let's go interrogate
Yeah,
this
we got. So now you get this guy named Georgie. He owns the strip club.
And as you're walking over there, you think to yourself, maybe if I just gave her that money. See, I know how this game works. She would have died regardless. But what if I gave her the money?
Never thought that.
Yeah. I definitely thought that, but yeah.
Okay, so Georgie, did you break all this stuff?
Oh, I did not. I waited until the very end, just walked around, listened to him.
Yeah, I used the thread of breaking it, but I never actually broke it.
I used the thread of breaking it until I decided to just break everything.
You lost it.
So I actually only broke.
To be a good cop.
I only broke like 2 things.
Well, I broke none.
Yeah, I broke nothing, and they call us to complain anyway.
Yeah, because Hans is there. He's just like, oh, why don't you use the book where you keep track of everything? It's like, God, Hans.
I love Hans. Hans is a character. He is a plot device in the form of a very handsome man.
Yeah,
whose only job is to tip you off to some evidence.
Yep.
He is never relevant again, but I appreciate Hans.
It's like there's later in the story, one of the characters makes a huge deal. It's like, I had to lie to Hans. You don't know what that does to me.
Is Hans is dead, right? He's got to be dead. They never talk about him again, but Georgie killed Hans, right? You have to kill Hans after that.
You see him in the background every time you go in there, right?
Honestly, he did something worse than any of the other girls did. But anyway. So yeah, you can choose to mess with his stuff.
Eventually, you will convince him to open up the floor safe, and he gives you a book you can't do anything with.
Yeah. And then
you get a room number from it, and then you go talk to the Little Mermaid.
Whoa,
Boom!
Yeah.
Just prior, you got to see her boobs.
Yeah, that is something that happened.
Which kind of surprised me because I thought that was like banned on Steam until we
No.
talked about this in the podcast.
No.
Nudity is not.
Yeah, and that's different
Like
than
you can play
like
The Witcher 3.
yeah, that's different than like now the policy is like you want a game that has like actual uncensored sex in it. Now you can do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, you can basically do whatever.
Yeah, now you can do basically
But
anything
like
that isn't
nudity was
illegal.
always fine.
Yeah. You're right. I have played The Witcher 3. I don't. I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's games with nudity on it.
Make a persuasive argument. All right, carrying on. They were not much to look at because the art style in this game is not very. It is aesthetically pleasing, but it is not good to look at in isolation.
Yeah,
Right,
we can talk about that
sure.
later. I have some opinions on how the game is put together, presented, etc.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
So you go talk
Anyway.
to Little Mermaid, and I'm apparently doing the summary now. You're welcome.
yeah, I'll chime in when I chime in.
She has this thing where she's cursed such that she cannot reveal information about her clients, which makes sense for the business. Take that as you will. But she does lead you. You ask her about the murder, and she clearly knows something, but she cannot tell you. It's not possible.
Yep.
So she says, "Oh, make an appointment with you," and pretty much tells you, "We'll do it in the same building, probably in the same room where all this stuff happened." Like, okay, so you get a room key for down the hall, and then you head off there, and you find Beauty and the Beast, and there's a sick fight.
Yeah.
It's kind of the trope. I can explain.
you all
There's no
help
time
her?
to explain.
Yeah, just a quick aside there. You use Beauty to help you get into the room that you actually think shit happened in.
She's working at a motel, and apparently this is a big scandal because they're accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
Yeah, Beauty and Beast are they're broke.
You go from castle to nothing, and they can't handle it. They spend money like Jake. It's awful.
Can you please?
So does she always help you? Because I did what you
assume-
wanted.
I assume yes. Yeah, I didn't tell Beast that I saw her.
I don't think you ever actually get the choice to tell. Like, you can say what you say, but I don't think you can. Or no, you can tell.
He
Beast.
runs into you in the elevator, and you can literally tell him, "Yeah, I saw you."
Oh yeah, I didn't tell.
But I was like, I told him I'm staying out of it, but I told her I was on her side.
See,
I told both of them I'm staying out of it.
See, when I told her, I don't know what I told her, but I told Beast I didn't see her. And yet, when I was at the motel, he immediately assumed I lied to him, but he kept that assumption throughout the rest of the game. I don't know. Maybe they talked.
Well, I mean, he thought you were hitting his wife.
Yeah.
So he was kind of blinded by being mad as fuck.
Yep. And that gets us to the next important choice, where you get a choice. You end up getting a fight with Beast, and then you get to the point where he is you either whether you beat up Beast until he's unconscious while fighting him, or leave him alone.
I knocked him down.
Once again, I left him alone.
Yeah. I also
I
left
didn't
him
knock him
alone.
out.
I had no beef with Beast.
I mean, I got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
made
can
sense.
you can choose to just beat the life out of Beast practically, but you can choose not to. And that brings us to the next little thing. You finally get to that room. The room is clearly where at least one of the murders happened. Bed's covered in blood. It's all dressed up to look like a Snow White scene. There's
something awful has happened here.
And
Yep.
Then you find a picture that is pretty good evidence that Ichabod Crane was the one who was getting hookers to glamour up as Snow, so he could pretend that he was having some fun with Snow White, who he has apparently been loving from afar.
Like I said, that magic must be pretty good.
The whole time. So
She also explains why you keep finding her hair everywhere.
Yeah. Ichabod Crane sees you seeing this evidence through the magic mirror, at which point he decides to smash the magic mirror and dip.
Another one of those local governments being absolutely worthless. He is the NSA. He's using the magic mirror to spy on everyone.
Yeah. And that brings us into episode 3. So far our choices sound like they've been pretty darn similar.
I did what made sense, pretty much
Yeah.
in every choice. And most of my dialogue choices were to probe for information.
There was clearly in the game a right way to play it and the crazy way to play it.
Yeah, you could play this game like a maniac, and some things will definitely have some impact. Like I said, I tore the guy's arm off, and they did not leave me alone about that.
No,
They don't let you forget that you tore this guy's arm off. They want you to feel bad.
There wasn't much in between being a complete dick and not be.
The complete esport.
So why would I just be mean to everyone for no reason?
See, I was
So
playing the like level-headed guy until you make me lose my temper, and then I'm crazy. That was
And that's what
the
everyone's
character I
afraid
played.
of you for. You were playing exactly what they're scared.
Exactly, I played the character the way they portrayed him.
See, I was just trying to do what Snow, and then I eventually just turned to a soft.
See, that's no fun. But I kind of turned into a softie too. So
I was on my save a ho shit for Narissa too.
Yeah, I think chapter 3 is where the choices get a little more interesting.
Yes, they clearly started feeling more comfortable with making wider decision trees in the later chapters. As it would be weird if they made you make enormous decisions in chapter 1, and then they had to deal with that baggage for the rest of the game. So I kind of get why they did it the way they did it.
Yeah.
The choices definitely started becoming more and more significant as the game went on.
Definitely agree, because chapter 4 and 5 really should have been one chapter.
Chapter 4 was short. Chapter 4 was short.
Yeah.
But since I played the whole game at once, it's fine. I could see people who bought it episode by episode maybe not liking that so much, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So how does chapter 3 start? You go back to the
it starts at the dead prostitute Lily, the troll, at her funeral.
Does it?
Oh yeah, I promised her the body, so she hated me.
Right, because you promised her the body, then Crane apparently threw it down the well.
Yeah, Crane threw it down.
Which is another thing that's not very well explained.
Yep.
Is this just like a well? You throw people down, they're just stuck at the bottom. Do they die? Do they just disappear?
Well, no, they do explain it. They explain that they don't know. They don't know where the bottom is, and they don't know if there is a bottom. Yeah, they said that.
Oh, I missed that completely.
Yeah, it might have been like in some book or one of the character sheet things or something. No, it's in the with the Book of Fables.
Okay, with the Book of Fables, I went straight to Faith. So.
What? The Book of Fables, that's in the menu, not in the actual game.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I didn't really explore that very much.
Oh, there's actually a lot of really interesting stuff in there. It's actually like kind of worth reading.
Okay.
A lot of good lore. Some of it's not, but some of it's good. Some of it's just funny. I like it. So yeah, you're at Lily's funeral. You can choose to. So Snow's giving the eulogy. You can choose to interrupt her or wait until she finishes her speech.
I just waited.
I waited because I'm trying to.
I interrupted her. I didn't realize I had the option to wait. Because silence was an option, but I didn't take the silence option.
See, I like that one because it wasn't a button prompt. It wasn't press A to wait. It was you actually had to sit there and wait.
Yeah, she's actually like giving a whole eulogy, which I let her go for a little while, and then I just like, no, we gotta go.
You have no patience. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep.
This.
I was trying to beat the game quick. I'll admit. So okay, we're going way too slow.
So you do that for Wolf Among Us, and it's fine. I do it for Doki Doki, and it's apparently a problem.
I mean, I tried to beat it
quick,
and
you went through it like crazy fast.
I still like looked at all the things you could look at.
Yeah, I looked at everything I could look at. Honestly, the only things that I did quick was just like interrupting people, or not choosing the path of silence, or tearing people's arms off. Which actually probably added time to my gameplay. Like, legit, tearing that guy's arm off. Probably added more time to gameplay than any other decision I made. Because it did get brought up a lot. Alright, anyway. Yeah, after Lily's funeral, you can go ahead. So, Tweedledee shows up at the funeral. Tweedledee, Tweedledum. Everyone gets shot,
yeah.
basically.
So did you guys let them? So when it came down to making the decision of like, esport you, let's make a deal, or silence, I picked silence. So what did you guys go?
I made the deal. I didn't. I want. Not that I was gonna commit. I was just getting them idiots to leave.
Yep. I made the
what
deal.
What did they do? Did they still shot everyone?
Yeah.
So I did promise them.
Yeah, I
And
just
then it
kinda
ended up
said
not
nothing.
mattering.
Yeah, I said nothing, and then my guy just kind of walked away, turned around when the crowd showed up and said, "Get out," and then they started shooting.
But yeah, for me, it was Polly who basically got them all fired up.
Yes, I said like go away, and then Polly's like, "You killed her, didn't you?"
Yeah, Holly's like, no, we got to kill these guys right now. Turn into a troll, and then they're like, we have shotguns.
How dare you even show up here?
Yeah. So this is one of the first real interesting choices in the game, which is why I think it's worth talking about here. You can so after this whole thing, you get shot, you recover. You're a badass wolf.
An e-sporter wolf.
Yeah. Holly was also shot, but she's recovering. It's kind of important to note fables are notoriously difficult to kill. So like you need to like.
So the woodsman, you popped his jaw off and you just put it back on, and you put an axe into his head, and he just took it out.
Yeah. Some fables are easier to kill than others, or they have their weaknesses. You're a werewolf, so silver, that kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, you get a choice between going to Dee's office, going to Crane's apartment, or going to the bar and look through Lily's stuff.
I took Snow stuff.
Crane, just know, Crane
Lily's
broke
stuff.
the magic mirror and took a piece with him, so you cannot repair it. So you have to hunt him down the old-fashioned way.
Yep. So what did everyone do here?
Okay,
Snow said go get Lily's thing, so that's what I did.
Yeah, Lily clearly knew the person who killed her, right? She would have some record, so you want to go through her stuff, see if she had a journal or something. She seemed like the only one who had an actual lead.
Yeah, so with that in mind, I went to Crane's apartment.
We currently think that Crane was the one who killed her, which is why that's also a good option.
Yeah, I went to Crane's apartment. And so we both had me and then you guys, we each had a sort of different experience in how this next part played out, where we both ended up with the same information, but we got them from different sources.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
So what bothered me was when I got back from Lily's stuff, Bluebeard had burned Crane's apartment pretty much down. Just took everything and threw it in the fireplace. And I never got the chance to grill him about that.
Yep.
So same thing happened with the Tweedle's place.
Oh, so he went there and burned everything?
Yep.
So I thought he was dirty.
Did you ever get to talk to him about that?
Oh, apparently he didn't burn it. He just made a mess of it.
Okay. Oh, that means you probably how was your interaction with Flyswatter then?
Flycatcher? So
Yeah.
Bluebeard makes mention of him. So Bluebeard makes a mess and batter Flycatcher, trying to get information from him. That's it. I never met Flycatcher.
Because you pretty much have a heart-to-heart with him when you're looking through their office, and you convince them to leave and come back to the woodlands.
Yeah, I have no idea who Flycatcher is.
Like, he has that green hat, right?
Yeah.
So you never even met him.
Oh, the guy with the green hat? I don't meet him until the end of the game. I didn't know who he was.
He was pretty chill. He was cool. And I was so annoyed because whenever I was talking to him, all of my options were just be a total esport to him.
I was so confused on who that guy was. Because he shows up at the end of the game, and I'm just like, oh, I guess this guy just kind of know. I didn't question it too much. It didn't, bug me or anything. But, I didn't know you could have met him earlier. So in my case, I actually kind of... I learned more about Jack, who's this, pretty boy scumbag who's robbing Crane's apartment.
Okay, yeah, I saw him at the pawn shop. Actually, that explains why he was at the pawn shop.
Yeah. So the common denominator is it seems like it forces you to go to the trip trap no matter what way you do.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what your first choice is, you will go to the bar as your second choice, or if you go to the bar as your first choice, then I'm not really sure what happens.
Well, I think
Oh, no. Bluebeard goes to Crane's room, so if you go to the bar, you're forced to go to D's office. All
yeah,
right.
but you don't find anything. You go up there and say, "This son of an esport," and then you never bring it up again.
Yeah. Okay. And then so story moves on, and eventually we are led to Auntie Greenleaf, who is
AKA the best character.
who is Crane, who you know is Crane's witch, and you know that she made
Also, Lily's.
and she made the glamours and stuff to make them look like Snow White and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't actually know if Lily ever interacted with her directly. I don't think it insinuates that she did. Crane got the glamours and gave them to Lily.
Well, Lily had a book with her address in it.
Yeah, you're right. She did. But she is like the black market maker of glamours for people who can't afford them. And all around great character. So she has this tree that she uses to make the glamours. And she needs the tree to do it. It's from the old world, as they call it, the Fable universe.
Yeah.
And you get an option to either burn her tree or hire her, basically. So burn her tree and be like you're going to jail, or hire her to be a witch at like the government and make them for the people.
See, that was a tough one because you can say what you want about poor people, right? But in this game, if you're too poor to afford a glamour, they send you to a farm, which you don't really know what the farm is. You just know that the fables don't have to worry about being seen there.
Yeah, but
So
there's kind of this insinuating tone that the farm is like a borderline concentration camp.
Yeah.
This like overarching like it's almost like a retirement, like a bad retirement home kind of feel. Like they're never it's never super specific, and you're like told it's amazing, but like no one wants to go there. So,
and from the sound of it, at least the Toad has been there before.
I don't know if the Toad's been there before.
He made it pretty clear.
Colin the pig has been there before because he's escaped numerous times.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's escaping over and over again doesn't sound very good for the farm.
He doesn't have thumbs, so like, how does he get out? I mean, I guess it's not a prison. It's supposed to be somewhere to live.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of strange. But anyway. So none of you guys burned the tree then, right?
I couldn't bring
Well,
myself.
given
to
that
do
she
it.
was the best character, there's no way I was burning the tree.
Yeah,
So
I didn't burn the tree either. I don't know what happens if you do.
I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
That was an easy decision. Snow can shut up.
Yeah. So I guess I can show this. I've been showing some of these on screen. So there's a moment where you get to choose if you want to burn the tree. There's the best character. So then after that, you end up getting kind of pushed into a corner by Tweedledee and Dum again. This time with a newcomer to the scene named Bloody Mary. Ooh. And Tweedledee and Dum pump you full of many shotgun rounds at this point in time. And you finally, for the first time in the game, get to come out in your true, full-on werewolf form.
Werewolf, yeah.
Werewolf form. Wow, you trying to spoil?
Not spoiling.
So you come out as your true werewolf form, where you can handle bullets just fine. And then you end up in a situation where you get another critical choice. Well, I don't know about critical, but you get another choice where you can choose to either kill Dum, who's been tormenting you the whole game, or let him go. So you have him pinned against a wall, you're a werewolf, you're kind of not very in control of your feelings.
That was a hard choice, but I ended up letting him go. I really wanted to not.
I wanted to not be the nice guy, but I already committed.
So I killed Dumb. Yeah, you don't really hear the end of that.
Okay, that I don't get. They have shown up multiple times.
Yeah, they tried to
shot
kill
at you
Yellow.
multiple. Nobody should care if you kill him.
But the thing is, okay, the only time I really get stuff about, because Snow actually doesn't give me a lot of crap about Dumb, other than like you can't be trusted if you get angry, which okay, fine.
Okay, I got that too, and I let him live. She's like, you can't go turning into that every time you get angry. I'm like, I didn't kill. What are you talking about?
But she specifically
oh.
called me out like you can't be like we can't let what happened with Dumb again. Like you can't be killing people.
Well, they can't be trying to kill me. Huh?
Yeah, they literally shot me 10 times. Whatever. So I killed Dumb. D escapes. Whatever. And then at this point, you're shot with what you assume is a silver bullet, because it's one bullet and you kind of like totally collapse. And the crooked man, who is this other mysterious figure who you don't really get to see at this point in time, kind of tells her not to kill you, and they take Crane and they go. Oh yeah, you had Crane with you.
Yeah, you went to a strip club, found him there, because he went to the witch and got a ring that was supposed to dispel their curse, so he could go to the prostitutes, get them to tell the truth, and have them say that he didn't kill them, but it didn't work at all.
Yep. And just kind of up to you. Do you think he killed them or not?
See, I want to note here, Bloody Mary, the person who shot you, and it actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
This really seemed like supposed to be the point where they introduce her as a big threat to you. But like, she shot you when your back was turned to her. It didn't really do anything else.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what you guys feel, but I really like Bloody Mary's dialogue.
Yes,
like all
she
of
is
it.
A great character.
It was fine.
It's some of the most well-written dialogue in the game.
What I do not like about her is her subtitles are red, and they blend in way too well with the background.
We'll get into accessibility.
It was really hard to read.
We'll get into accessibility with this game, but yeah, let's try to wrap up the story of this game in the next 5 minutes.
That's good, because these are the shortest chapters. All right.
These are the shortest chapters.
Now your quest is to hunt down the Crooked Man. So, I believe you have another choice to make.
It's whether or not you want to send the pig to the farm. We're just not gonna talk about that side story at all.
That was my boy. The end.
Yeah, Colin was my boy.
I sent him.
Wow.
See, I didn't do everything Snow said. Come on.
Wow.
I had to give her this one.
He was but honestly, Colin was kind of a douche, but whatever. I kept him around.
I gave him the drink. I gave him a whole pack of cigarettes. That made us. We're even.
And then you sent him to the farm. No, you're a jerk.
I also sent the toad to the farm.
Wow.
Yeah, the toad. Oh, I sent him because I didn't care about him, but he kept bringing up Colin.
Wow. Okay. We'll talk about that later. Wow, of all people, that's like the guy I had the most sympathy for. You just listened to everything Snow said, didn't you?
Not the tree.
Not everything.
The tree was too far.
Yeah, the tree was too far. Snow was like off the rails.
It basically came down to, after you kind of see what's going into these claimers, what the cheap ones, the black market ones, you realize these people just need to go. Like, I don't even give them the chance to support that kind of business. Just get rid of them.
Yeah. So, then you have a discussion with Narissa, one of the prostitutes, and you kind of find out that the ribbon that they all wear on their necks is what binds the curse to them. So
I died for that shit.
You can choose at this point to attempt to remove the ribbon from Narissa.
This is the one time where I didn't probe for information. I just tried.
You tried to remove the ribbon.
Yes.
Wow.
I just asked her if I could.
Yeah, I asked her if I could. And I have a feeling asking her and so.
I'm feeling it's the same thing. She just freaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she jumped and hit the wall and was like, no.
Yeah. Yep, she was.
Because no matter what you say, you still reach for it.
Yeah, like I said, like, can we just take the ribbon off? And I kind of gesture towards it, and she's like, not having any of that. So anyway, you don't take the ribbon off, but you kind of get some hints that, maybe Beauty and the Beast want to talk to me, and she's like, yeah, you should take that meeting. Like that's the best she can come out with us. But yeah, that
Right.
gives
You
you.
go talk to them, and they tell you they're accustomed to a certain style of life.
Yeah, so apparently they're used to being rich, so they made a
They
deal with
cannot downsize.
they made a deal with the devil, and now they owe the Crooked Man a lot of money.
And
A
you gotta
lot of
bail them
money.
out. So you make another choice here. There are two places to go. I believe a butcher shop and a pawn shop.
Butcher
Mhm.
shop.
Butcher shop. So you go to the butcher shop and you find slave labor.
Yep.
Go to the pawn
Yep.
shop, get into a fight. You and your bro, the Woodsman, you take down some guy. You I think he's like an antelope man.
Yeah, I liked his design.
Yeah, so it was something. Anywho, you find the piece of the magic mirror there, and you're all set to go find the Crooked Man, because his door bounces around town.
Yeah.
So you use the
So
that,
apparently this
door.
is a sort of slightly interesting. If you go to the pawn shop first, you'll actually run into Toad trying to get glamour so he doesn't have to go to the farm by selling Faith's coat.
Right, you
Yep.
find that in his apartment at some point.
Yep. So that's interesting. Okay. So then after that, you have the piece of the mirror. You bring the mirror back. The piece of the mirror back to have Buffkin fix the mirror. Which there's some pointless dialogue with that, but whatever. Mirror gets fixed. In the meantime, while the mirror's getting fixed, you can talk to Toad and tell him whether or not you want to send him to the farm.
Send his ass to the farm.
He told me, he was like, we all know that you're not sending the pig to the farm. I'm like, well, I did send pig to the farm. I was like, shit.
What? Yeah, here's the thing. Yeah. So like everyone knows you live with this pig and kind of protect him, and he's like, well, what the hell? If he doesn't need glamour, like,
I just didn't say anything, and he walked away.
no, I told him I'll do what I can do. I'll do what I can. And he
I
like
told him-
got really happy, and he like hopped away, and he was like smiling, and Snow's like, he's smiling. You didn't tell him he was going to the farm, did you? And you're like, no, I did. I told him. I told him we work it out.
See, I told him, go for now. Once things cool down here, we'll figure it out.
Was he happy about that?
Obviously, he was middling.
Yeah, no. He like when I told him I'll do what I can, he was like straight up excited, and Snow was pissed off.
No, I told his ass to go to the farm. And that was that. I told you 3 times to get damn glamour.
All right, I for those
There's a lot of
watching the
pieces
video,
there.
could you send this face to the farm? Look at this. Look at him,
Are you
Nice
showing
call.
Toad or the kid?
Toad. Unfortunately, yeah, no,
Oh.
I don't have a thing of the kid. He
Yeah,
has
I
a
can
little
send him.
boy too, who looks at. But this face, come on, you can't.
Nah.
The whole glamour rule is oppressive. I've done nothing wrong but look different. That's what he said.
You went out in public.
You want to live in New York? You gotta look like a New York.
I mean, his kid was swimming in the river at night.
Should we have? That sounds like segregation to me. That's what it sounds like.
It's not my rule.
Okay. And the last important decision of the episode is to. We're gonna skip some details. You find the Crooked Man.
And Tiny Tim.
And Tiny Tim, who
Oh.
is the Crooked Man's. So
Doorman.
they kind of spend some time trying to establish Crooked Man here as a defender of the
people.
underrepresented, I guess would be the best way to put it, and that's how he sees himself and talks himself up as
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't
like
believe it.
the overlooker of the. Yeah, and you're not having any of that. And then so at
Oh,
this point
crap.
you can either choose to threaten him or talk with him like he wants you to, or
Aren't
smoke
we in
a
chapter
cigarette.
5 now? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just smoked.
Yeah, I smoked too.
I talked.
Oh, what happened when you said that? When you said
Well, I
let's
said
talk?
talk, and then I smoked a cigarette.
Oh, you said all right,
I-
let's talk, and it just.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
he smoked and sat down, and then it ended.
Oh, okay. I just said
But
smoke.
what I hated though was I waited for Tiny Tim to get all the way to the door. And then we opened it and went in, and the crooked man's like, "You didn't even wait for him." Like, I did wait for him.
You didn't let him
What
go
are you
in?
talking about?
Yeah, I just ran ahead. I didn't care about. He's mean.
I
as
waited
I
for
don't
him.
think he said that. He was like, good job. I waited.
Maybe you didn't wait long enough, Mitch.
I don't know. Like, he went up to the door and he stopped. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going in.
But you went in before Tiny Tim did. How dare
I
you?
guess.
Use the okay.
Okay, so now
Yeah,
we're
we-
going into chapter 5. So you're in a meeting.
Now this scene was the biggest disappointment.
Yeah,
This is kind of a Fallout 4 where,
this pretty quickly turned to violence.
yeah. So, Fallout 4, right? You have the Institute, and they're going around replacing people with robots who would look exactly like them. You get to the Institute, you find the head guy, and you cannot ask him about this. You cannot bring that point up to him. And it's really how I felt about this. Like, I found slave labor in your meat shop, and I cannot bring that up to tell him he's full of crap.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much evidence
Yep.
I'm just not allowed to bring up in this discussion to
I
underline
just-
all of his
I don't
arguments
like
for
that I
being man of
literally-
the people.
I tried to talk to him because starting a fight's a terrible idea when I'm clearly at a blatant disadvantage. But no matter what, I get in a fight anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, you get into this big fight, and I'm just gonna skip a lot of detail here. But
You're forced to stab Georgie?
yeah,
You
you're
don't even
yeah
have a choice there. It just happens.
yeah, it just kind of
Yeah.
happens as part of the QuickTime stuff. You end up, you know, Georgie comes at you with a knife. You kind of turn his arm around and push the knife at him, stabs him in the abdomen. Which he lives.
A little bit.
But then you go through a whole chase sequence, yada yada yada. Go through some portals, car chase. You're a wolf, well, werewolf, and jumping car to car, whatever.
Okay, how many times you're just on a city block, you lose the car, you jump up to the roof and find it again? Like,
Yeah.
there are other buildings. You can't see that far. It's always on the road right next to the building you just jumped up.
It's a trope.
Like, okay.
Okay, so then eventually you end up with Georgie and the one
Vivian.
Vivian at the strip club. At which point you find out that the spell with the ribbons is Vivian's doing. She's kind of the one more or less in charge, and her and Georgie formed the club together.
She was originally cursed, and they stripped off part of her ribbon to give to the others.
Yep. And then she decided
Has a
that
change
she
of heart and kills herself.
has a change of heart, wants to free the girls from their curse, and the only way she can do that is by removing her ribbon, which, you know, kind of learned, when you remove the ribbon, your head becomes severed from your body, and that's
Did you
how
guys
the other
want to
girls
stop her?
died.
So it looked like you were given a choice there to force her not to, or let her do her own thing.
I mean, I
Oh,
think you
girl.
can try. All she has to do is tug a little ribbon, so I don't think you can
Okay.
get across the room
I
in
took
time.
the middle road. I was like, eh.
Yep,
So
Do
same.
you
it was
want-
her call.
Yep.
Yep. Georgie is kind of upset about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you kind of have a little scene where you talk to Georgie, learn some stuff.
Oh yeah, Georgie killed the two girls.
Yeah,
But
Georgie
he
killed.
was very much.
Oh,
determined
yeah.
To do it.
Yep. And yeah, you kind of get the idea that Georgie was kind of just a pawn of the crooked man. And at this point, you have a choice between either killing Georgie,
Which is what he wants.
which he's begging you to do, or you
I
can
killed
just leave him to bleed out and suffer and die.
I killed
That
him.
one- I killed him. That one was weird though, because like, can he really not have just recovered? I mean, the Woodsman had an axe in his head.
Well, they never really established Georgie. Is Georgie actually a
Is he
fable?
in the menu?
Oh no, he is a fable, but he's like barely one.
He's just a scrub ass human. Fable.
He's a
kinda
human
thing.
fable. He's
Probably like Snow.
like Snow. If she got shot, she'd die. Like,
Huh.
not all fables are. You know,
Yeah.
if you're delicate in
Okay.
the fable, you're delicate in real life. So yeah.
Okay.
Like kind of like Tweedledee, Tweedledum weren't that strong either. Like you slash his throat and he died. Like,
I put him out of his misery.
I left him to die. This is
Jeez.
at the point in the game where I decided my days of killing were behind me, so I didn't
Already
kill.
dead.
You
Already.
left him to die.
Either way,
You're the one that stabbed him.
My days of killing are behind me.
Right, because you turned around and walked away, so he was literally behind you.
Killed him.
My days of killing were behind me. That was in a tussle. And I didn't exactly kill him. He might have been able to recover if he didn't try to bleed out.
What?
He took his hands off the wound. He gave up.
Yeah, because
He gave up on living.
his body, he knew he was dead.
Yeah, probably. His intestines were actually spilling out of his body. It's
I mean,
kind
had
of gross.
Vivian waited 30 minutes before killing herself, she probably could have saved him.
Maybe. I don't know. He was bleeding out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So,
He gives you all the dirt you need on the
yeah.
Crooked Man.
So, okay, now you
And
make
tells
your
you where
way
to find
to Crooked Man's new lair-ish thing. It's a metal factory, and you
Oh god,
Run-
that wheel.
run into
Mirror Woman.
a Bloody Mary, and you have your showdown with Bloody Mary.
Gunman.
Which Bloody Mary shows her true abilities, which are pretty neat. She turns into tons of little Bloody Marys, and
Kagebushin no Jutsu.
then you kind of reveal your true form as part of this fight, where you become an absolutely massive wolf, and you blow them away because you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was neat.
Yeah.
Neat scenes and stuff. Some of the worst QuickTime action in the entire game, but will.
Yeah. Really underwhelming too, because some of those hits, they didn't. The sound was off. They'd hit you and then it would play later.
I didn't have that problem.
Oh, okay.
But
I ran into a few bugs. One time the Tweedledees didn't load, so they were just floating guns talking at me.
I didn't run anything like that. I ran into some really minor stuff, but nothing like that.
Okay.
So okay, then you're left with probably one of the most important single choices you make in the entire game. You are basically you're you and the Crooked Man, and he's pointing a gun at you, but he's clearly not in any kind of position to overtake you. You're just gonna win this, and you're basically given a choice where you get to take Crooked Man to trial, or you can choose to kill him right here and now.
Not gonna lie, he almost talked me into killing.
I was pretty close, but I decided to just take the gun and take him in.
Because he seemed pretty confident he was going to win this trial. But I didn't know if he was bluffing or not, so I took him.
Yeah, I had been playing the good cop the whole time, so I knew I'd win.
Yeah, so I also took him to trial. So none of us killed him.
We didn't look up what happens when you kill him. You still pretty much give him a trial, except he's a corpse that can't defend himself.
Yeah, it's more or less you're on trial. Okay, let's make sure that he's actually guilty of this stuff, and then we'll decide what to do with you. So he better be guilty, or you're screwed. So then you take him to trial, which is one of the...
Which is...
It's a really
gone.
interesting way to kind of review your decisions.
Yeah.
Kind of review your moral character.
Yeah, there's
You did
this
in
sort
The
of back
Walking
and
Dead as
forth
well.
with... So he's the Crooked Man. He's very good at talking. And kind of getting people on his side and making him look like the good guy.
Which is very interesting, because Beauty and the Beast were there, and they were one of his victims, and they were swapping over to his side.
That was the point. That's why I was almost afraid. I chose to kill him. I figured he'd still have his hooks in their mind.
Yeah. And
Luckily,
so...
I had Raging Bitch to help me. Sorry, Raging Eastport. She was a big help.
Yeah, the witch is a big
You
help.
killed my sister. I was talking about the one whose sister died. She's like, you killed my sister.
Oh, yeah. Holly was there.
She probably is on your side no matter what.
Yeah. So That the whole trial is interesting. And definitely your choices get brought into question. I don't. You guys played a lot straighter of an arrow than I am, so they were really against me for a while. Since I had murdered a guy, one of the guys there, I had tore his arm off. That was mentioned in the
He
trial.
only had one thing on me, because he was like, "You hit Tweedledum with a bottle or whichever one," and I was like, because he was trying to.
Oh
undermine
yeah.
Snow's
Oh man.
ability
Oh,
to
they
be
wouldn't
a
shut
leader,
up.
and I was like,
What-
she wasn't even in.
Yeah, they wouldn't shut up about me
The
torturing
argument.
them. Snow is like this. That's the wrong way to handle things. Like our sheriff's a bad example.
Yeah, they yelled at me
Oh.
about that too, and I didn't even torture him.
So he didn't even give a good argument. And then the only other thing was Greenleaf, and I was basically like, "Yeah, she messed up,"
Yeah.
and that was it. Everyone was on my side at the end.
Yeah. In the end, everyone comes to your side, and then you get a choice. You can rip the crooked man's head off, throw him down the well, or lock him up. Basically, they end up going on your side, and they give you the choice of his fate. They're like, "All right, we're
Because-
cool with you
yeah.
killing him. You get to choose the
Because-
sentence."
The wolf is the only appointed official in the building.
Yes, that is true. So they give you the
Snow
choice.
Snow has not taken that position yet. Crow, Crane, whatever, he's gone.
And everyone clearly wanted him in the well, so I said, "For the people, put him in the well."
See, I was sitting there thinking, I'm either gonna throw him in the well, or I'm going to kill him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just like grabs me and starts pulling me towards the well, and he's like, "Not today."
Yeah.
Yep, that happened to
You
me.
break out of that with a quick time event, and you're like, "All right, well."
I locked him up like a good sheriff. I did what the witch wanted.
What did the witch want?
She wanted me to lock him up. She said, "This
How
isn't the way
so?
to do things. We don't kill people. We don't need another." She made a whole
Okay,
big
she's
deal.
the
of it.
best character, but I threw him in the well anyway. I don't care.
I didn't throw him in the well. I
She
locked
may
him
have
up.
like
See,
5 votes,
I
but
thought-
there were still more than 5 people.
Yeah, I thought like, okay, these fables, they live way too long for a prison to really be workable.
Well,
Of course, I didn't know that the bottomless well was bottomless. So
it might not be bottomless. They actually don't know. They've never found a bottom. They don't know if there is a bottom. So I chose to lock him up, which, by the way, for those concerned that he'd be living too good of a life, the witch's idea was turn him into a crow who can't talk and put him in a cage and leave him
Okay,
at the
see,
farm.
She
For
didn't give me
eternity.
ideas.
yeah, she did not say that, but that is also kind of cruel and unusual.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
fine with that. When she like showed up with him, like, "Oh, here he is," like in a cage, there's a crow. I'm like, this is fine.
I am glad I did not go with that route, because that is worse than death.
Which, by the way, he goes onto the same truck to the farm with TJ and his dad, the frogs.
And the pig was riding shotgun when that happened. I gave him a whole pack of cigarettes.
The pig was in the truck for you.
Yeah, because I sent him to the farm, so he was riding shotgun.
Disgusting.
So what happened?
And Flycatcher was the one who's driving for some reason.
Flycatcher
Yeah.
was driving. Yeah. It's also important to note if you decide to rip the crooked man's head off. Apparently, it will make everyone in the room kind of disgusted and afraid of you, and some of them will run in fear.
Huh.
So
That makes sense.
yeah, that is something worth mentioning. So this is kind of where you're left with your kind of final choices of the game here. This is sort of the epilogue. Basically, you get to talk to the frogs when they're about to be sent off to the farm.
Basically, you
they
get to be a dad.
and which so the dad was kind of upset with me because I told him that I would try to help, and he's like, "Well, look where that got us." So whoops. But then TJ is like, "Hey, I have a gift for Snow White. Like, even though she's sending me to the farm, like, can you bring it to her? And like, look at that face. Now we have a picture of the kid. Could you send this little guy to the farm? I mean, we did in the end, but like, could you tell him that? No. Apparently 97% of people said that they would take the gift to Snow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what kind of
Okay,
heartless,
there-
evil person you'd have to be to say one of these dialogue choices is "I'm busy." I'm too busy to bring this thing to my
You say
coworker.
you're too busy as you're fraternizing with them on the clock.
Yeah, the person. Yeah, the person who
So,
you literally
I-
work with.
I forget what it was, but there was only one option I wasn't in the majority on, and I forget what it was.
There's
Mine was giving her
there's a
money.
couple options where I wasn't in the majority, like tearing the guy's arm off.
There was one where I was like 5%. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
Oh, it was the pig, right? Yeah, I was in the minority. less
Oh
than 10%.
yeah, 85% of people like. Yeah. So like yeah, if you were heartless, you said I'm busy. Well, most people brought it to her. Or I guess silence was an option, so you could just blow them off. So then you kind of have this last little conversation with Narissa, which, okay, we skipped a really important detail.
Yeah, she was your smoking gun in the trial.
Yeah, she kind of showed up in the trial, and she's like, the ribbon's gone, like, I can finally speak. Like, this guy ordered Faith and Lily dead. And they're like,
It was
well,
kind of whack. They're
that's...
like, well, we'll take it.
I mean, they all were just, like teaming.
We all knew he was guilty. We just didn't.
Yeah, they knew he was guilty. We just didn't have like any super hardcore evidence, and this tortured prostitute was.
Well, he didn't get any rebuttal. He was just like, nah, I didn't.
It did not.
And then we
happen.
killed him.
Well, no, he was. Yeah, I mean, he was not in a good place with that. He's like, what could he even do?
I mean, the whole trial system was really
Was a sham.
It was a sham for sure. Which, to be fair, was part of their argument. Like, okay, after we get rid of this guy, we really need to get better at how we handle things here, because this is pretty messed up. So, yeah. Then you have a bit of a conversation with her, where she kind of tells you that she manufactured some of her testimony, and that she never actually knew if Crooked Man for sure ordered them dead. But she's like, he did enough awful stuff, and he probably did it. So
Well,
I didn't find that
Georgie-
technicality.
I trusted Georgie. Like, I think he really did do it because of what Georgie said.
Yeah, I do too. But then at the very, very end, you're sort of, left with like her talking about, what happened and all that, and there's sort of this slight illusion that she played a more than just a victim in all of this, and that her and Vivian might have been more connected than she ever let on. And
So essentially, my interpretation is, and I completely missed this until you guys point out. My interpretation, though, is that she wanted Crooked Man gone so she could have her life back, and she didn't really care who had to die to do it.
Yep. Yeah, because in this heart to heart, you kind of find out that the reason Faith and Lily ended up getting killed was because she ratted them out as like they were trying to formulate a plan to basically escape, or more or less try to expose what was going on.
What I think she was telling the truth, because what would possibly be her reason to tell you this? If she was like trying to get away, she should just left, right?
Well, she might. I don't know. Maybe she's a sadist. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's left
Maybe
kind of
she wants to
open-ended.
look.
You're welcome to read the comic. They made that very clear at the end of the game.
Oh
If
yeah.
you want to learn
buy the
more?
comic, too.
Buy the comics.
You're also welcome to wait for The Wolf Among Us 2 to. Oh.
Oh.
My.
Oh.
I am regretful though. I very much enjoyed this.
Yeah, this was a good game.
Like, it's not something I would ever play again, but I did enjoy my time with it.
Yeah, it doesn't have a ton of replay, but I mean, it's a straight-up story game.
Mm-hmm. I
So
was compelled.
it doesn't have an amazing amount of replay value, but it was good. And so I guess the last thing I want to talk about with this game, we're way over time, but
Oh God.
oh yeah,
Oh, that's surprising.
we're like way over time. But the only thing I wanted to mention in this game was one of the biggest issues with the game, period, was accessibility.
Yeah.
And this is just a quick note to game developers out there. Okay, some people are motor impaired, where they perhaps cannot do quick twitchy motions or mashing buttons. If your game is a game like this, a story game, where being able to push buttons quickly should have no impact on your ability to get through the game, you should not have QuickTime events that require quick twitchy movements with like control stick and clicking on stuff and mashing without the at least an option to turn it off. A lot of games with QuickTime events that have mashing allow you to turn an option on in the settings to hold down a button as opposed to mashing, or just the game mashes for you. This game was in desperate need of some of that. It just had random points in the game where you were expected to mash and or do quick twitchy control stick movements as part of QuickTime events, and sometimes it was punishing, very punishing if you didn't do it. I died numerous times in this game because of my hands were bugging me, and the game wanted me to force me to do a movement that I didn't want to do, or wanted me to mash a button faster than I really could at that moment. And there's no reason for a game like this to have those problems. Like, it's one thing if you're like a hack and slash game or a fighting game or like all these things that require lots of button inputs, but this kind of game, don't do it. All right? That's all I got to say about that. And the subtitles were terrible. There should.
Oh my God, the red subtitles especially.
Yeah, it didn't matter for me that much because I could hear just fine, but like, yeah. So accessibility, this game wasn't the greatest. So what did you guys think of art and presentation?
I liked it. It was a little weird at times, but overall I liked it.
Yeah, like the art style is neat.
Okay.
It gives
Like-
you that like hand drawn comic-y thing, but in full 3D in a
Mhm.
way I think. Like I think it's like the Borderlands style, but done in a more textured way, and I liked it.
Yeah, and like all the neon lights kind of brought that out.
Yeah, anytime they
Okay,
had like neon signs and
like,
stuff, it looked awesome.
Only problem was you were talking to Tweedledee or Dumb. They looked so wrong.
Okay,
like,
they look
Yeah, they looked like
Like
lumps of
they-
clay, and
like they were just wrong.
yeah, they were meant to look funky because you know
Like,
they're
they were
Tweedledee
just an
Tweedledum.
affront to God.
Yeah, there was, yeah, and there's just scenes here and there where things were kind of messed up. Like some of the animations not great.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And as I said, sometimes there were floating guns.
that was for Mitch. I mean it was a fairly low budget game from a smaller studio.
Voice acting was nice.
Yeah, voice acting was good. Sometimes the voice acting and the characters, like what they were doing, didn't match up all that great. Like they're like screaming or yelling out, and their character is just like arms at their side, like not doing anything.
Did you guys have an issue with the loading screen, like bringing up your desktop in the background and like finicking around?
No,
The game really seemed to be having some problems with me.
I had no issues with the game when
Okay.
I was running.
Not
Yep.
really, no.
The only
I
issue
didn't
I
have
had was
any-
when I first loaded the game. It assumed a ridiculously low resolution.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, it had me at 1024.
Yes.
Yeah, it had me at 1024 as well, so that was kind of whack. But it was cool,
Alright.
and I was actually able to play the game at 4K, and
Okay.
it worked.
Kinda.
So it's like a decently well optimized game anyway.
Oh yeah, there was one time I was watching what happened last episode, and it actually showed something wrong. Like it got one of my dialogue choices wrong. I forget what it was, but like it had me chewing someone out when I just like chose silence. That was weird. Crane is just gone. Like they sent him to Paris. You never saw him again. Never really had closure on his story.
Yeah, not really.
Just gone. Bluebeard never got to chew him out for being a complete hindrance.
He gets to be dirty and keep working for you. Or
And
something.
like
Whatever
he
the
was
hell
there
did.
for the trial. We didn't get to throw him down the well.
Hey, that's because he's funding the government.
Right, he has the money.
Yeah, he's the richest Fable, who's apparently really involved in local government.
I have nothing else to say.
All right, what's your out of 10s?
I'm gonna give it 2 numbers. As a video game, I'm gonna give it a 6. As a movie, I'm gonna give it an 8.
7.5.
There you go.
I'd say 8. Possibly an 8.5 if it wasn't for the QuickTime events.
I dig it.
Because some of those were annoying and obnoxious. And I
thought it was
kind of hate QuickTime events in principle. They can be
Oh, we
used
all do.
tasteful. They can be used tastefully, but this wasn't an example of a tasteful use of QuickTime events. So there was only one mashing QuickTime event that I actually kind of liked, and luckily my hands weren't hurting when I was playing during that time, so it was fine. And that was when you so there's a point in time where you like think you might like transform into a wolf, so you like mash A to kind of like hold it back, you know, like you're like trying to hold it in, and you win out, like you make sure the wolf side of you doesn't come out. But then later when you're backed up in that alley with Tweedledee Tweedledum, you get the same thing where you have to like try to mash against your wolf coming out, but it's scripted to make sure that you can't mash fast enough to win it.
Those were the only ones I didn't like.
See, I liked that.
You would get halfway.
That incites a certain feeling in the player, and I think that's an interesting way to do it. But they don't need a QuickTime event to do that.
No, but I think it was somewhat effective. I don't know.
Yeah,
I liked it.
yeah. It's a type of QuickTime event that doesn't just inherently make everything worse.
Yeah, I liked it. I appreciated that. It would have been fine as a click and hold, as I said before. Settings would be good. The settings are extremely lackluster for this game, but at least you can play it with a controller.
Well, there's no one to complain to because their company's out of business.
Yep. Which is why we did this game.
I thought it was good. That's about it. Nothing like amazing or anything.
It didn't piss me off like a certain other game, and it didn't, blow me away like a certain other game. So
yeah,
I liked the theming of this game a lot. I knew nothing about the theming going into it, and like within like 5 minutes, and I like understood the theme and what was going on. I was like, I think I'm gonna like this.
It's just JoJo Part 4.
No.
Very close. Well, it was that when I thought we were hunting a serial killer. Turned out that it wasn't really a serial killer.
Oh, I wasn't talking about the serial killer thing. I was just talking about the whole Fable thing. I'm like, this is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
This is cool.
It's definitely the most interesting of their. It's definitely the most like lesser known of the source material. Say like Walking Dead, Borderlands, Game of Thrones, Minecraft, like. And then some.
Oh, the Minecraft one. The Minecraft one is awful.
Borderlands one is also pretty bad. You saw me trying to play that, and like neither of us could make it through chapter.
Yeah.
Those the Borderlands is bad.
Mixed reviews. Some people like it. Some people don't.
Anyway, the only thing I knew coming in was that the little girl was a witch.
Oh, I knew.
You knew
I knew literally nothing. I had absolutely no idea what this game was about.
It did not take me very long to figure out that was someone in disguise. I just didn't know if it was the witch or if it was Crane.
I assumed immediately, like when she opened the door, that little girl was the witch.
It didn't take me very long at all, but I just didn't know who was disguised as the little girl.
Yeah. So, good game.
GG. Shenmue Watch.
Shenmue Watch. We have
nothing.
All right, and going into our last little news topic of the week. This is just for fun. Twitch streamer criticized for claiming that he's better than his viewers during TwitchCon panel. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. yeah, it's Twitch streamer Dust. Basically, in the panel, he said it's kind of he's talking about him and what he thinks about him versus his viewers, and he says it's kind of like a low-key god complex. But I don't think many of my viewers should relate themselves to me because I do think of myself as better than. And then he stopped himself. And he's like, whoa, wait. This is gonna come out wrong. All right, not better, but like, there's no good way to say this. I think of myself as above the average person, so I don't think many people could relate to me. So he's like, all right, I can't say this right, so I'm just gonna make this just as bad. And he's like, okay, now I've explained myself.
See,
Oh
I
my
can
God.
understand the I'm not trying to be everyone's friend thing, but he could have kept that God complex thing to himself.
Yep, for sure. It's also worth pointing out that he has 10,000 followers with an average of 43 viewers. And he has a God complex.
This is all a ploy, and now he's going to get more viewers. Getting talked about now.
That's true. Under his sub perks panel, by the way, on his Twitch page, he says, you can use my emotes. That is it. No sub games, no sub Discord, no movie nights. I don't want to play games with you. I don't want to hang out with you on Discord. Leave me alone.
Oh.
That's what he thinks of his subscribers.
He could have just said, after that's it, he could have just ended it.
Yeah, he could have. But that's not what he does.
He chose the high ground, and he chose to give us drama. Yes, you can, Julian.
So, yeah, wait, what?
Can you not see the chat?
Oh, well,
Join?
I have the live stream chat open. So.
Julian wants to come in. I'm telling him he can.
Yeah, you want to come in to say some last minute thing to
Yeah,
our audience?
We'll give him a soapbox to talk about Wolf Among Us.
And why the direct was...
Yeah, why not?
An hour late. Why not?
Why not? We're 31 minutes over time. We might as well go all in.
All right. Well, let's sing a song while we're waiting for him.
Somebody should probably type in chat. I don't know that he's actually listening to us.
I typed in chat.
Oh,
the same chat he used at the same time, apparently.
Crazy. Okay, let's
There
talk.
it is. All right, Julian, real quick, we're 31 minutes over. We decided to go an extra 31 minutes over. Give us your rundown of Wolf Among Us. We already did a plot synopsis. Anything you want to talk about?
He hasn't finished the game yet.
Yeah, I haven't finished the game yet.
Well, then allow me to be the first to say, read.
Yeah,
I'm on
don't
episode 5.
spoil him. Don't spoil him.
I meant to finish it today, but my bad.
Well, you missed the spoiler part, so talk about whatever you want.
Talk about the direct instead.
We already complained about the direct.
Jake liked it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I said my piece.
yeah, we all said our piece.
Well, then that's it. We got nothing.
You want me to say my piece or like?
Sure, whatever you want. Let's
Give
go.
your quick synopsis.
So the direct. So, I mean, it killed my hype a little. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't understand that at all, but carry on.
A tiny bit, because one, they really let Incineroar and Ken be the final two. I mean,
No, they didn't. Those were two of the final three.
I'm not talking about Piranha Plant. I mean,
Bye-bye
in
the
base
game
roster.
on December
He likes
7th,
Piranha
we'll be
Plant.
doing the rest.
Right?
Piranha Plant is the character I'm
No.
most excited about.
No, I don't.
Really?
He is the coolest new reveal of
I
any of the
can't-
characters.
No.
Well, I think we have
It's,
I think
Okay,
we
I
have
got
very
over
different
that. That was
opinions
decent.
on
But the direct was still ass.
it's too troll. I can't. It's too troll even for me. He really picked Piranha Plant over someone like Waluigi and like.
I already said this earlier,
Oh,
but it's no. I'll just tell you that off stream because I've already said it on podcast. Carry on.
I'm not excited for Spirit. It looks
Yes.
like a gotcha game.
Yep.
The cinematic was cool.
The single player looks nice, which is different than Spirits, so it incorporates them. I think that'll be fine.
I don't know if I'm gonna do that RPG stuff.
Yeah.
just-
Oh, I'm
looks
so
like
excited for it. What?
It looks like Subspace, but better, I guess. I wasn't the biggest fan of stickers in Subspace, so
It's different than sticker. All right.
I know it's different than stickers. It's more like complicated because you can combine spirits and feed them snacks and stuff.
So just think of them like stands.
And they're like not just like random items. They're tied to characters. It's
Okay,
neat.
I am really worried about online.
Yep. Yeah. That we all share.
And the brightness settings, like what is he up to?
Mitch, stop.
Like I don't know. I might prefer for glory and for fun because the way he worded it, it's like you set your preferences, but you have a chance of meeting someone who doesn't share your preferences.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of those like we're gonna need to see kind of things.
Hey, if there is no win-loss, I'm just gonna dodge that shit. Oh, we're playing 3-minute items. Bye. Gone.
Yeah, you can't SD though. Otherwise, you face penalties.
But can you just quit?
And
I don't know.
DZ.
Did he say? I don't know.
You just
a
mentioned the
bunch
SD thing.
If I have to close the game, I'll do it.
And also,
Maybe
they said like the penalty was disconnecting you. They didn't even say that it was gonna like give you a timeout.
Oh. Also, I'm really mad that Global Smash Power's back.
Yeah, we all are.
We don't know if that's changed though.
Well, it might have changed. That's the only hope we have is that it's the online one is kept completely separate from the single player stuff, which they kind of hinted that could be the case, since it's on a per character basis sort of deal now. But to be seen.
Yeah, it's not per account or per Nintendo whatever. It's per character.
Yeah,
which-
the only hope that it gives me is all the single player stuff they showed. It didn't show the GSP in like the corner or anything like that, which it did in Smash 4. So that's why some people are saying maybe GSP is literally only for online, which
So
maybe
why-
then it's okay.
Well, why?
But then it's probably just volume of matches.
If he did that, then why just not have? Why just have a ranked system? You know, like
Well, he wants to put a spin on it, like Nintendo
He
always
doesn't want
does.
to put win-loss.
Yeah.
Breeds competition.
it's.
And he doesn't want you to be like,
is
"Oh,
for
I'm
fun."
the 10,000th worst." You know, they want to be like, "No, I'm better than 50,000 people. I'm sick."
Fucking.
Esport.
50,000
Esporting.
out of like 9 million. Oh, you're so good.
I am still excited for the game. I'm just a little worried about online and lacking single player content. Like it is a little strange to have a Smash game without break the targets and stadium and trophies and stuff.
Most likely. Okay, and trophies is who cares?
I don't understand why trophies are a big deal.
It was a staple. It's been a staple since Melee. It's just
That's
weird.
I think that's a nonsense
we
argument.
talked about tradition. Our last week or 2
Yeah.
weeks ago.
It's
Doesn't necessarily have to stay the same.
it's historical baggage. Sakurai basically said that. He's just like, "Hey, trophies are a ton of work and like no one cares about them."
That's like one of the biggest Smash community criticisms. They follow tradition.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Okay.
Yeah.
About Wolf Among Us, I like the game. In terms of interactions and like how the characters look, I thought they look a little weird. Did you guys notice that? Like,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked a little bit about how the arts,
Like,
how like the
so the
animations and stuff are a little bit.
I specifically said that Tweedledee and Tweedledum look wrong. All
They
the
also
time.
said tits didn't look that good.
Yeah, I did say that.
so I basically finished the game. I meant to finish it today, but I didn't. So sorry about that.
That's fine.
Um,
The real question is, are you going to finish it?
yeah, I plan to finish it soon.
Yeah, you should. finish
Yeah.
it.
I made
Chapter
some
5 's
decisions I
pretty short.
regret.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Quick, lay out your hot take decisions.
I don't remember all of them. So I killed Tweedledee.
Hey, high five!
You killed him too? Okay.
Yeah.
Just Jake. Just Jake.
Just me and Julian.
What else did I do? I sent Toad to the farm. I actually regret that.
Wow!
No.
I am the only one.
Oh, really? Everyone else?
Everyone sent him to the
Yes,
farm.
The
What about-
farm,
What about Colin,
Colin.
the pig?
the pig?
Pig. Oh no, I picked friendship over rules.
Let's go.
Then I'm the only
Yeah, let's go.
Wow.
Colin's
Okay.
a bro.
one. We are fixing the system. You can't just. You're not above it.
And
I
I'm
wonder
not.
what
I said I was gonna protect Toad too. You said you would protect Colin, send Toad to the farm. You're a hypocrite, Julian.
Yeah, I'm a hypocrite.
You're the only one to do that.
Hey,
At
no,
least
it's
Mitch
not-
was consistent.
I said I regret that decision. I probably would have saved Toad if I would have replayed the game, or if I would have saved Scum. Give me some other decision. I can't remember.
Did you tear the guy's arm off?
No, I didn't.
I'm the only one who tore the guy's arm off.
You tore his arm off? Wow.
That mattered for the rest of the game. No, they would not shut up about me tearing this guy's arm off.
Okay, I thought I was justified for killing Tweedledee though.
I think I made the game 5 minutes longer.
I don't
By
think
tearing the
anyone,
guy's arm
I don't
off.
think anyone would blame you for killing Tweedledee.
Okay.
No.
Like, he had shot at you way too many times.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
everyone said that it was a hard decision. You and me were the only one who actually decided to do it, though. Yeah, that's been brought up a few times. Oh yeah, remember that time where you couldn't be trusted and you killed Tweedledee?
Where did you all go first? For like chapter 2. Did you go to the prince first? Or
I
did you
went to
go-
the bar.
I think yeah. I didn't go to the prince first.
Or I went to the frogs.
Okay, yeah, I went to the frog.
I went to the prince first.
Is he alive?
Yeah, he'll be alive.
Like, oh wow. Okay, so okay.
They told me at the end, like, you could have stopped his death, apparently.
Shit. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so he dies if you don't pick him first.
Yeah.
Wait.
So,
Thought I picked him first.
yeah, so he's alive.
He's definitely dead.
Oh.
Well, the end credit thing, when it showed you your decisions, it said you let him die or
It's
something.
totally possible that I've misremembered which choice I actually
Hey,
did.
did you give Faith money though?
Yeah, I gave Faith money.
God
Oh,
damn.
you're-
You
You're the only
gave
one.
Faith money. You're the only one who did that.
What's wrong with you?
You let a hooker run off with your paycheck. That's
Can't save
That's
these
the
hoes,
problem.
man.
What? She just got beat up by the Woodsman. Wow, you guys have no heart.
it's not my problem.
Yeah. Wait. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Alright.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't say I didn't want to give Faith money. I just didn't think she needed it and didn't think she would take it. She didn't
I
seem
mean,
like that
Well,
kind of person.
I was definitely trying to save Narissa, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
I mean, I kind of was. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't have my laptop with on.
Oh, did you beat up Beast?
Did I beat up?
Did
Yeah.
you hit him again when he was like basically down and you had the choice like, oh hey, like beat him senseless or like he's had enough?
He's had enough.
Got it.
What did you pick?
I think we all let him be. Oh, okay. When you had the choice between Crane's apartment, Dee's office, and Holly's bar, which one did you take first?
I didn't go to Crane's apartment at all
Okay.
because Bluebeard went there.
Yeah.
So
Did you ever figure out how to harass him for that? Neither Lerone or I got the chance to tell him, like, why did you do that?
No, I'm forgetting which one I went to first. I think it was Holly's apartment. I think. Or Holly's
Those
bar.
are
the
bar.
trip trap, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah.
I think we all did that,
No,
except Jake.
except me. I went to the apartment. So in my storyline, the apartment never gets burned down, and I never meet Flycatcher.
Oh, I meant Flycatcher. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I burned the witch's tree.
Oh,
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're evil.
Hey, you're garbage.
Listen.
You actually been.
Trash.
Yeah, I burned the witch's tree. Oh, give me 1 second. You
You're
guys
a
continue.
horrible person.
I could not bring myself to do that, and I was playing as straight edge as I could.
Wow. I kind of think differently of Julian as a person. Like,
Imagine burning the best character. What's wrong with
what kind of mindset do you have to be? He can't even defend himself right now because he can't hear us. But
All right, that's the podcast. We have some lynching to do, so we'll see you next time.
yep. So you guys all have yourselves a good day, and
Play the Smash theme.
Yep, we're sponsored this week by Dust. Follow his Twitch stream if you
Fuck all of
want.
you,
If
we're
you
not
want to feel inferior to his superior intellect and God complex. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play that fresh music on whatever the heck. And have yourselves a good night.